Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Don Joe number 9104-DU-RC. This is a 2¼ inch tall, polybagged, extended lip strike with a 1/4 inch radius corner, Duro coated. Let's dissect the part number. 9 in the part number means that when you buy this, it's going to come in a bag. They also manufacture these strikes in a carded sort of packaging where there's cardboard, visual packed. If it was a display, if you were a lock shop and you had a retail area, you would certainly want the carded version. The polybag stuff is more of a just a regular back of warehouse sort of inventory packaging, and is therefore less expensive than the carded version. The 104 is going to mean that this is a 4-inch extended lip strike. Let's go over what that means. Now, 2¼ that's the height. 4-inch, that's not the overall width. It's about 4 3/8 because strikes are measured from the center line of the hole to the edge of the lip. And that's where the 4 inch is coming in. Okay? Because it's so wide, you're going to have 2 columns of screw holes. Now, a standard strike, lip length, center of hole to the lip, is about 1 1/4 inch, 1 3/8, inch and 5/16, inch and 3/16. So this is substantially wider than standard, than what you would otherwise bump into. So keep that in mind. This is, way bigger. Now, where would you use such a thing? Well, obviously your latch bolt is making premature contact with the wall, the casing, shutters, a treatment that's been done. You might have fabric that's been applied to the wall and to the door, and you don't want that latch bolt hitting the material fabric. Like if you were building like a home entertainment center where it was a room that was dedicated all to itself with a lot of sound attenuation thought went into it, you might need a piece of specialty hardware like this to prevent that from happening. Or, very common with a 4-inch, maybe you have a custom kitchen. There's cabinetry everywhere. There's paneling to match on the face of the appliances, and you're going to have a pantry door and maybe some piece of hardware, and you've got a very deep sort of wood structure building all of that, and you might need an extended lip strike for that. Or if you stand on the pull side of the door and you run your hand over the face of the door and the frame, the door is basically flush. It's inset a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch. Well, imagine if it was inset 3 inches. Common, very typical, that a door, well, it's not common, but it happens. A door is pushed deep into the frame, and you've got this huge reveal between the pull side of the door and the face of the frame, and in that instance, you might need to consider wide throw hinges as well, which we can help you with. But you would need an extended lip strike in a situation like that. Now, this is called a D strike, or at least we call it that. If you use your imagination, you can see why. It's also called the full lip strike, and you can see why. The DU in the part number, that's going to mean, well, it means that it's powder coated in this dark brown sort of finish over a steel base material. The RC part, the part number means radius corner. These corners are not square, they're 1/4 inch radius. Very typical and common, something that you're going to see in residential applications and exclusively in a wood frame application where the company or the door shop who manufactured the door and frame would use their router with a 1/2 inch router bit on it, because it'll leave you a 1/4 inch radius, and they don't go back and square the corners. Very common, very typical. And in those instances, you'll be looking for a radius corner strike like this, because you don't know that square corner strikes are at least as common. And you don't want to, either don't know or wouldn't, even if you did know, don't want to do the work of squaring the corners out. You just want something to fit back in its place. And that's where that radius corner comes from. So we've dissected the part number. 18 gauge is the thickness of the metal. To put that in perspective, think of it as the thickness of a commercial kick plate. That's 50 thousandths of an inch. 2 1/4 tall, 4 inch length. There is an image below this video showing the dimensional properties of the item. There's also a link below this video to a document called Template, which will give all the important dimensional properties beyond what I've done. Screws are included, obviously 4 in a complementary finish. On that template are also references to the other finishes. 605 for polished brass, 609 for antique brass, 619 for satin nickel, 620 for antique nickel, and those 4 finishes will be on a brass base material. You've got 630 finish, which is satin finish, stainless steel, and then DU, and this is exactly what DU looks like. Dark brown, powder coat over a steel base material. Sometimes it's stainless steel. That's obviously magnetic, so it's not stainless, or at least it's not stainless. Finally, there's a link below this video to a document called Product Catalog, where you can review all things strike plate related from Danjo. Their name is one synonymous with a couple of other lines of hardware that we'll talk about in a moment, but they have a comprehensive offering of not only extended lip strikes and practically all variations of that, of width, extended lip, height, armored strikes, security strikes, standard strikes, custom strikes. There's probably the last page in that product catalog will allow you to pull up a form by which you can fill in all the dimensional properties that you need. They'll make you a custom strike. Basically anything that you can draw, they'll be happy to entertain giving a quote and making for you. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full line Danjo that we sell on our website, a link to the manufacturer's website, along with a link to the full line product catalog. That product catalog is a bit unwieldy because it's just a large catalog, so we've made links to all the subsections, and you'll see there that you may not be aware that Danjo is a full line trim and auxiliary hardware manufacturer, not only extended lip strikes, but of course the 2 lines that they're most widely known for, the U-shaped door reinforcing wraparound plates and latch protectors. But as you look at the rest of those categories, you'll note that they make door stops and filler plates, signage, ladder pulls, pivots, hinges, kick plates, push and pull hardware, and accessory hardware, bolts, things of that nature. If you have more than an occasional need for trim and auxiliary hardware, by all means familiarize yourself with their product offering, because I'm partial to Danjo, and I think you will be too after you've used their products. Excellent quality, fantastic customer service, and reliable, prompt, predictable shipping lead times. If you have any questions on the Danjo number 9104 DU extended lip strike or any other Danjo product, please feel free to reach out to us.